the E&S industry and particularly the construction and project sector has grown exponentially in the last 4 years. I think some of the recent data shows that the E&S industry has more than tripled in the last 4 years. But what hasn't tripled are the amount of staff at underwriting companies. So that leads us to really have to build our underwriting relationships at the local level and the ground level, but also it puts the onus on all of us to create a proper submission and provide all the information necessary for an underwriter to put our deal on the top of the stack.
Yeah, it's important. The quality of the information from start to finish is really what drives the end result. It also, having those initial discussions with our retail partners as to what they have, what they're looking to accomplish. Again, we need to know too what the competition is. Are we up against a contractor's program if it's an OSIP, if it's a contractor we're dealing with, who's the owner? The more information that we have up front will help us get the proper documents to the markets that will give ultimately, like I said, the best pricing and results, terms and conditions in a timely manner. Starting the submission process is critical. The applications, project application, geotechnical report, site safety plan, general contractor's information, those are all critical items that we need. Then we get into, is it residential or commercial? If it's residential, there's some additional steps that need to be taken into account. Is it frame? Is it not frame? Is it, in California? Could it be in Hawaii? Is it Florida? Those are, problematic states where the capacity isn't as readily available, and it tends to be a little more difficult to put it together, but it is achievable. With that, we can go to the carriers. As Kris said, the underwriter on the line generally doesn't, in certain situations, doesn't have full authority. It has to be referred to some level. Documents need to be reviewed. But if need be, we could also take that time to get with management at those companies to make sure that they know what we're looking to accomplish, so that we get the product and results that we're looking or have been set out into the market to put together for the brokers.
We all know that there are certain companies and underwriters that value certain pieces of information over other pieces of information. And that's a huge thing to understand when you're dealing with individual markets and the marketplace as a whole is, what one carrier might value, as respects a piece of submission information, another might value less or more. And it's spending the time with the underwriters to understand what really drives the decision within their company, as respects the aspects and the components of a deal and the components of a submission, is what I think we're really good at. We spend time with senior management as well as line underwriting, all the time, so that we have the pulse of that and we know what information is necessary to get the result at that individual underwriting level and carrier level, or that specific carrier.
Yeah, it's all good points. I mean, another component of this too is the changing marketplace, as Kris said. There's constantly new capacity coming in and out of the market. Whether it's new entrants with a program, specific product to fill a gap in coverage. It could be working with the administrative staff for OSIP or CSIP, and working with a broker that maybe has knowledge in the space but doesn't do a lot of it. It's a collaboration on a lot of levels that we take the time to get to know each client, individually, and see what the needs are and bring the proper parties to the table.
What we all have to understand is it's not an annual buy, right? It's a multi-year purchase. As a matter of fact, in California, it can be as long as a 15-year commitment between the buyer and the insurance companies. And so what I think we're also, cognizant of is that we're also, big fans of building a box and then repeating it. We value putting together a program for a customer, and then when they come back to us again with a similar project or a bigger project or a smaller project, we can go back to that same carrier lineup and that same mousetrap And, barring, new entrants that need to see the deal, which we'll show them, having baked, the cake already, being able to slide that in, it makes that process, and it kind of bypasses all that what we just talked about, as respects, the underwriters drinking through a fire hose and not being able to get to every deal that they're going to have. If it's a repeat customer, you tend to see better rates, the forms, and we've already dialed in everything that customer needs. And, and that's a big thing that I think we're proud of, is that we have a fair amount of repeat customers, developers, contractors who, we're their go-to. And we've built it for them. And then it just, drops in line, each time they bring a new project to us.